Once upon a time, in a small village nestled amidst rolling green hills, lived a young woman named Gita. Gita was known not only for her love for nature but also for her vibrant spirit and warm personality. She lived alone in a lovely house and took great pride in tending to her garden every day, meticulously nurturing every flower and crop. Right next door to Gita's house, however, lived an elderly woman named Mrs. Rosewood. Her husband had passed away years ago, leaving her feeling lonely and vulnerable. She spent most of her days in solitude, often gazing out her window, longing for companionship. But fate had a special plan for Mrs. Rosewood, for Gita was about to fill her life with warmth and happiness. Although they had never met before, Gita was drawn to Mrs. Rosewood's house and her quiet presence. One day, while tending to her garden, Gita noticed that Mrs. Rosewood seemed sad and alone. She couldn't bear to see her neighbor in such sorrow, so she decided to befriend her. Every morning, Gita would knock on Mrs. Rosewood's door, a friendly smile on her face. "How are you, Mrs. Rosewood? Is there anything I can help you with today?" Gita would ask, her voice filled with sincere concern. At first, Mrs. Rosewood was surprised and a bit suspicious of Gita's kindness. She had grown accustomed to her solitude and was hesitant about entrusting her heart to anyone new. But Gita's gentle nature and genuine kindness soon won her over. Gita's visits quickly became a ray of sunshine on Mrs. Rosewood's cloudy days. They would sit together in Mrs. Rosewood's cozy living room, sipping tea and sharing stories. Gita would take Mrs. Rosewood by the hand and walk her through the village, introducing her to new friends, ensuring she felt connected to the community. They would attend village fairs, where Mrs. Rosewood would giggle with excitement, and Gita would marvel at the joy she brought to her dear friend's life. The young woman's heartfelt conversations were a lifeline for Mrs. Rosewood. They would talk about their dreams and aspirations, their fears and hopes. Gita would tell her about her love for nature and the wonders she discovered in her garden, while Mrs. Rosewood would share tales of her youth, filling the room with laughter and wisdom. As time went by, Gita's positive communication became like a soothing balm for Mrs. Rosewood's heart. The village noticed the transformation in her demeanor. She began to wear a smile more often, and the sparkle returned to her eyes. The optimistic energy radiating from Gita seemed contagious, spreading throughout the community. One winter evening, as snowflakes gently danced from the sky, Gita and Mrs. Rosewood sat cozily by the fireplace. Mrs. Rosewood reached out and held Gita's hand, warmth and gratitude shining through her aged fingertips. "My dear Gita, you have brought light into my life. Your positive communication and unwavering support have made me feel alive again. I am forever grateful for you, and I hope to be a shining light in someone else's life, just as you have been in mine." Gita hugged her tightly, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. They sat there in silence, knowing that their bond was unbreakable. Together, they had discovered the magic of positive communication, the power to nurture one's spirit, and create ripples of kindness throughout the world. In the years that followed, Gita and Mrs. Rosewood continued to enjoy each other's company and make the most of every moment they spent together. They may have come from different paths in life, but their friendship and the positive communication they shared bridged any barrier of age or circumstance. This story of Gita and Mrs. Rosewood reminds us of the transformative power of positive communication. For every conversation, every word shared with genuine care, has the potential to bring light to those who need it most and make our world a brighter, more connected place. May we all embrace positive communication and use it to spread kindness and light to all those around us. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, press the like and subscribe button to receive all new updates, and leave a comment. Your opinion is important to us so that we can improve our level.